Some people not gonna get the respect them deserve until them start drive big vehicle or them live uptown. Let's be real. Classism and colorism still around the place, but nobody no want to talk about it. So today we're gonna break the chain and get raw. But how skin tone and social status still determine who get opportunity, who get respect, and who get left out. So if you think this not concern you, wait, you might see yourself in the conversation. Hey guys, welcome to Kadian's Talk Show. If you're new, I want you to stop what you're doing, hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell so that when we post our next video, you'll be the first to know about it. For all my returning subscribers, welcome back. So today on Kadian's Talk Show, we are going to talk about a very sensitive and complex topic not a lot of people want to talk about. We are going to talk about colorism and classism within the Jamaican society. Yes, you heard me correctly. Colorism and classism within the Jamaican society. Before we get into the topic, have you ever stopped to think, how did we reach here? Who decided that light skin is better? Who stated that money and address is more important than character? As we proceed in the conversation, I want you to think about these questions. Let's break it down. As I said before, this might be a little bit sensitive for some, but it's a conversation we need to start having in our home, within the schools, within the churches, within our communities, and within society, because colorism and classism do exist and it's affecting a lot of our Jamaican citizens. For a long time, the system shapes how we think, whether you agree or not. During slavery, lighter skin meant more privilege, and even after slavery, those ideas stuck with us. Society kept treating light skin as a form of beauty and success, while darker skinned people have to work twice as hard to prove themselves. Think about it. I want you to come a little closer. When I did little, people used to say you're black and ugly. I joke them to the run or they mean it. How many times have you heard people say that they want to have a light-skinned baby or good hair? What do you think? Do you think light-skinned people get better treatment, or is just our imagination? Let's talk in the comment. And whilst you're busy writing your response in the comment, I didn't want to just talk. I wanted to hear from some people. So I've asked some Jamaicans what are their views as it relates to colorism and classism in Jamaica. And I will now insert those videos so you can also hear what their responses are.
I'm Dr. Junior White. So I want to speak on my experience or witnessing being colorized. I remember in 2020 when the COVID pandemic came about and I was working with LPSR and I had the opportunity of sanitizing the person's hands. So while I was there, a white woman came up and I was sanitizing her hands and taking her temperature, and she flashed the alcohol in my face and she said, "I don't want you to test me, you nigger." And I was like, I wonder if this lady knows where she is. And she began to throw racial slurs at me, calling me a nigger. And if I touch her husband, the US government would be on my nigger ass. So that really made me feel away to know that racism is still this big factor in the world. And I want to say to our brothers and sisters who suffer racism every day, you know, not because of the color of your skin, you are still beautiful and you're created in God's own image. So I can say I truly experienced racism at the highest level, and it made me feel away, but I felt good in the sense that my boss, who is a white man, came to my defense and he told her she could not shop there because of her racist comment. So we need to stop racism, not only in Jamaica, but in the world. Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Brittany representing for Acadian's Talk Show. I will be answering a few questions here. First question is, have you ever experienced or witnessed colorism in Jamaica, and how did it make you feel? People taking public transportations, the taxi man them, you know them always cuss and them always fight. And one thing them always say, that's I'm not like black people, you know, because black people are bad mind and them don't want to say one elevates, but make it white people, them help out them one another. Yeah, that's colorism. The other question is, do you think lighter skinned people have an advantage in Jamaica, or is that just a myth? A myth? Definitely not. Have you ever worked at a call center? And if you have you ever met the clients? They are light skinned. Yes, they are. And I mean, everybody can know when they're arriving. Emails are sent. And when they enter that building, the aura, the room changes because of the aura that they bring. Everybody that was under bad behavior all of a sudden turn good. And black business owners are rushing after them because we make them get that control over us. I don't know if you guys have ever realized it, those who work in a call center, but yes, when them come.
In my opinion, it's more about how a person presents themselves rather than their skin tone. Now, for example, if someone enters a bank dressed in torn clothing and worn out footwear, they might not receive the same level of respect as someone who's well dressed. Now, appearance often influences first impressions, and people may make assumptions based on that. Now, while colorism may exist in some spaces, I believe that personal presentation plays a bigger role in how one is treated. Yes, I do believe that people are sometimes treated differently based on where they come from. There can be a level of discrimination, especially between those from lower income communities and those from more affluent communities. Now, these stereotypes can be unfair and limiting, as people's character and abilities are not determined by their background. Now, it would be great if more emphasis was placed on treating someone with respect and fairness regardless of where they come from.
I've never experienced colorism here in Jamaica, but I have seen it, I've witnessed it, and it's not nice. People be called out of their name. You're blacker than this, Dutch pot, you know, describing it to coal or polish, or oh, you look like monkey and stuff like that. And it's not nice. It's not a nice thing to say. It wasn't towards me, but I know the person who it was aimed at does not feel good with it. And I do think Jamaicans treat people differently based on how they look or where they come from.
Interesting. Those voices actually bring us back to what we were discussing. That color and class are still shaping our lives today. All right, we have talked about colorism, but what about classism? Some people state that as long as you have money, the color of your skin doesn't matter. Is that really the case? Or do poor people, regardless of their skin tone, still face the most struggles? Let's look at some real life situation. Have you ever noticed that you're treated differently based on where you come from? The moment someone mentioned that they're from uptown, they're treated as though they're important. But as soon as somebody made mention that they are from the ghetto, then they're treated as though they're troubled. There is a situation that somebody shared with me the other day, that they walked into a store, and based on how they looked, they were basically judged, and the staff were basically like watching them. But the moment someone walked in with a suit, they were treated as though they were very much important, like VIP persons. Isn't that classism? Are you still of the view that classism doesn't exist in our Jamaican society? Please note, when you're rich, doors open for you, whether you're light or you're dark. But when you're poor, that's a whole different story. Whether you believe it or not, classism do exist in our Jamaican society. It exists in our educational system. It exists in the world of work, especially for persons who are trying to gain employment. Because if you're not of a particular last name, then sometimes it's very hard for you to get a job. If you don't have links or connections, that make it worse. Not to mention relationship. Yes, classism do exist in a relationship. Have you ever seen a poor girl or a downtown girl dating a rich or uptown man? Automatically society thinks that she's with him for his money and she's a gold digger. And so these are some ways in which classism are obvious in our Jamaican society. What can we do about this? It's time to start challenge the system, because your skin color and money don't define who you are. It's time to break the chain and start valuing people for who they truly are. If you enjoy this conversation, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more real talk. Masu come back with more vibes, more truth. Stay tuned.